Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duck Bricks. I'm Chris, and we went back to the biggest used LEGO store in the US, Atlanta Brick Co. Now, Atlanta Brick Co. is one of my favorite used LEGO stores just because of the sheer selection of crazy items they had. And actually, we got a chance to go there while visiting Atlanta Brick Con, which is not technically affiliated with Atlanta Brick Co. The same people were there exhibiting and they had a vendor booth there, but it kind of worked out that I was in town for Atlanta Brick Con, and so we had to swing by Atlanta Brick Co. And so I figured that this deserved a separate video other than my main Atlanta Brick Con vlog because that was focused on the convention, and this is a completely separate experience, but we had a ton of fun. I was able to personally finish a lot of the minifigures that I needed to get, fill out the slots on my wall, so that was really great. And what's best of all is I actually got an official prop from LEGO Masters right here. This blimp was literally used in the 2K Drive episode of LEGO Masters, the race episode, so I had to get it from them. It is really cool how they actually had a lot of stuff from LEGO Masters that they just kind of picked up from contacts at the studio. That was super cool, and so without further ado, let's jump on into the full-on tour of Atlanta Brick Co. and my haul. So here's the Minifigure Vault at Atlanta Brick Co. And as you can tell from the title and description of the video, this to me was one of the coolest things I got to see on my private tour of Atlanta Brick Co. because this is something that wasn't there the last time. But before we jump into the behind the scenes tour and take a look at what goes into running the world's largest used LEGO store, let's step backwards and introduce us to the store itself at the entrance. All right, so we're here at Atlanta Brick Co. here with King K from the Bionicle community. Of course, Jonathan, Mini Superheroes today. I'm so excited because I've literally only been here once, and it was in between filming the finale of LEGO Masters. So I was a bit stressed then. I didn't get to see that much, but now we're gonna go and see everything.
No stress this time. We're in for a treat.
And you told me there's something exciting, isn't there?
Oh yeah, it's right when we walk in. Your mind's gonna be blown.
All right, let's do this. All right, so we're here at the biggest used LEGO store in the entire country, Atlanta Brick Co. I'm so excited. Let's do this.
And the thing that's gonna blow your mind is right around the corner, so we gotta see your reaction.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh
yeah, what?
Yo!
We are immortalized at Atlanta Brick Co.
No way.
That is amazing. Of course, one of the biggest surprises was seeing a printed out photograph of myself and my buddy Jonathan from all the way back when we visited the Win Kid back in Denmark last year. That was a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. But it was also really cool just to meet a ton of folks going around the store, as well as see all sorts of crazy stuff they had on display. Jonathan had his eye on this Black Widow gigantic cardboard cutout, which I think he actually took home. And of course, I had my eye on the non-production Q parts.
This is where all the rarest minifigs are. So you got Cloud City Boba Fett, Misprints, Jango Fett, more Cloud City Boba Fetts. That's insane. All in one view.
Oh, gross.
You gotta get that.
I just don't know how I'm bringing it back.
I'll ship it. I'll ship it for you.
I've been looking for this.
What is it?
Wait, what? It is the official LEGO Ninjago movie fidget spinner.
That is so cool.
$10?
Look, they have a whole thing of them.
What?
There's a whole thing. That's amazing.
These are exclusive printed tiles of the Ninjago movie characters.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, and this
For
is
$10?
Dude, I'm
That's
pretty
bad
sure
at
this
all.
isn't like on Brick. Like I was looking for it on Bricklink and I couldn't find it.
And there's just a whole thing of them.
No way. Wait, what else do they have?
It's just stacks of it.
Oh my god.
That's amazing. Oh my god, what is that?
I have this. That is, it's like a headband and like a puzzle circle thing you can make for your spinner wheels.
What's this?
What is this?
That looks like a like an armband.
An arm
like
or
a
headband
movie
because it's like a
promotional
headband. I'll get it. It's $5, yeah.
Okay.
I'm always looking for weird Ninjago. I do love the pencils.
Dang. Oh, the party
have
masks
these
are
too.
cool.
You have these two?
What is this?
Looks like a table.
Yeah,
Table cover.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, $2.99. I mean,
For that party night you're having,
Yeah,
you gotta get that. Yep.
I'm sure, like, unironically, I probably will. So, like, this is actually a good guy. Of course, in between taking a look at all the rare LEGO, one of my favorite things to do is catch up with my friends Mark and Steven, aka the winners of LEGO Masters Season 2 and the two people who actually help run the store itself. It's always really cool catching up with fellow LEGO Masters, and they were more than kind enough to give us a tour.
Okay, so I, later this year, am submitting for the largest LEGO Marvel collection in the world, and Chris is going to be the official representative on camera. Because you have to prove that you have everything, and so this is just like a little sneak preview. We were just talking about it, and I'm like, you know what, we'll film it. So imagine this was my collection. How it would go is I have to say, hey, my name's Jonathan, I'm submitting for the largest LEGO collection. Chris is here to be the official
official representative of Guinness here to double check and make sure that you've got every single one, or at least the most.
Yes, and here's how it would go. This is set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, and you have to go through every single piece of your collection you have in one uncut video.
Oh, no. I didn't know that before I said yes.
Wait. Yes. So I went through my collection the other day, and it's over 200 sealed sets that I have to, show each one on camera individually. And so you could do the math if you spend like 10 seconds a piece on each, but that's not counting the store displays, poly bags, Comic-Con figures and sets. I mean, so it's probably gonna be like a 2 or 3 hour continuous video.
Sure.
But now where the irony comes around is...
Have fun.
I asked Chris if he would do this for me, and he said yes. And then I said if I could ever repay the favor, let me know. And Chris is going to go for the biggest LEGO collection ever. What, you have like 9,000?
We're at 9,000. Good luck, buddy.
So always check the terms and conditions before, folks. That's the moral of the story.
And remember,
it's going to be fun.
If you miscount, the video starts over.
Well, good thing you'll be counting. My offer is for one count through and one count through only. No, it'll be great. If this is the most difficult thing we have to complain about, we are very, very fortunate and blessed. But yeah, we were standing here talking about it, and I'm like, you know what? That's a good time. So stay tuned for that later this year. It's going to be a wild one.
After Jonathan and I drafted each other into our Guinness Book of World Record LEGO collection picking armies, we got a chance to actually go around the store and take a look at what they had in stock before, of course, diving into the behind-the-scenes tour featuring that Minifigure Vault I'm so excited to showcase. But first of all, let's take a look at some of the coolest stuff they had on display here. This was probably one of the most complete collections of rare and used and even brand new LEGO items that I've ever seen in person in one single place, which was absolutely fantastic. And what was even crazier was that for whatever reason they just had a crazy stock of actual Hollywood movie props. That was kind of just another branch of the store where they had props from Marvel movies, from all sorts of the biggest blockbusters, and it was really cool getting a chance to see what they had on display. Plus, of course, that LEGO Masters trophy from Season 2, which is quite similar to the one I've got at home from Season 4. Of course, there was a fairly good mix of both used sets and brand new sets. I really liked how they had their pirate ships all the way up top on high up shelves, kind of like how I have things set up in my own collection. And for me, this was just so much fun getting a chance to explore and kind of pick out the sets that I didn't own yet. Don't worry, by the time we get to the haul, we will be going through my haul of pretty much everything that I got from the store that I didn't own already, but it was just super cool getting a chance to see everything they had in stock, a crazy selection of minifigures, probably the largest selection ever, and entire rooms and parts of the store that were themed around particular themes. LEGO Elves is one of my favorite themes of all time, so it was really awesome seeing an entire section of the store dedicated just for LEGO Elves, and Ninjago, of course, getting a whole section of its own with sealed sets from every era of Ninjago was super, super cool. I'm a big fan of original LEGO themes, and so I spent the most time in the section dedicated to the OG LEGO themes, like Atlantis, Aquazone, Rock Raiders, you name it. All the good vintage stuff was really awesome to see, and pretty much no stone was left unturned. They even had a full-on Bionicle section, complete with special rare Bionicle Kanohi masks in their own containers, ready for sale. The only thing that I didn't see was Galador, but hey, you know what? You never know what they might get in, and maybe they'll have some next time. Still, for me as a huge Bionicle fan, it was awesome seeing some sealed Bionicle sets, including the Ultimate Duma set sealed, which I've never actually seen sealed. Super crazy to see that, as well as just some of the most obscure LEGO items, like a remote control Technic car that barely looks like LEGO, which of course I had to pick up. I don't actually think I showcased it in the haul because I'm in the process of cleaning it, but that was a really good acquisition. And now it's time to go behind the scenes with the tour of their entire back stock and minifigure vault.
So this
I would
is like,
kill for an organization
none
system
of
like
this
this.
is online. This is what we use for inventorying
Yeah.
and then custom building.
Wow.
Oh man.
So anytime someone has a commission build, they reach out to us and like, hey, can you do this? We give them a price. They either do it or don't do it.
That's nice.
This shelf is all to be inventoried.
Wow.
So we have a couple people who all they do is go through sets. They organize it by color, make sure all the parts are there, good condition, bag it up, and we sell them.
Wow.
And yeah,
Oh
you
my
can see there's a
God.
lot of good stuff here, and this isn't even it. Like we have more in storage that is just not even it.
God.
I gotta get some pictures.
No, for sure. Feel free.
So as you can see, as we embarked on the behind the scenes tour, their back stock was about as big as the entire store itself. In fact, there was a whole other underground level to Atlanta Brick Co. that we hadn't even explored yet, that basically just doubled the quantity they had. But soon enough, something pretty interesting happened to catch my eye.
All right, what's up, Chris?
This is wild to me. I'm back in Atlanta about a year after filming LEGO Masters, and I walk in and guess what I see? A prop from one of the first episodes we won, the LEGO 2K Drive episode. This was hanging above our racetrack as we were racing the cars. And to see it in person and to actually be able to touch it is crazy. Now I gotta find out if it's for sale. Of course, I had to pick up that authentic prop from my season of LEGO Masters, which is now flying proudly over my LEGO city. If you want to know how exactly I shipped that and the entire gigantic Night Shield home, you can check that out in my Atlanta BrickCon video, which is really what I was here in Atlanta for. But soon enough, it was time to head downstairs to the underground section, where of course the first thing that drew my eye was the aptly named Bionical Bar, where you could pull up and all sorts of Bionicle pieces were being put together, sets were being pieced together from bulk, and they had a whole dedicated display for just all sorts of unique Bionicle items, which was just super cool. They had something like this just in the back stock, including some incredibly rare pieces around that frame as well. It was just a ton of fun being able to just go around and see what sorts of stuff they had in the stock. And look at that crazy selection of silver masks. Oh man, do you have it now?
No, I never had that McTorrent. That was the only McTorrent I never got.
Oh,
I had all the other ones except for that one.
This must be your happy place.
Yeah, this is really my happy one.
Oh, there's a K2SO in here, which means they got the black G2.
Yeah, I just saw the head like down here.
I saw it too. It was like,
Yeah, it was like somewhere there.
I need that black piston piece if I can find it. Oh my goodness. Of course, Brian aka King K and I had to spend a ton of time digging through the Bionicle bulk, which was part of the reason as to why we were here, was to check out the crazy Bionicle selection. But everywhere we turned, there was something super interesting to see, and one of my favorite bits was being able to check out some of the decor that they had, such as these transparent and multicolored LEGO elements just stuck in transport tubes. Really cool, just aesthetic as we explored around the entire location. I had an absolute blast taking a look at everything they had, including a mind-boggling quantity of LEGO Dimensions Year 2 toy tags. Of course, there were bins and bins and bins of sorted parts, but now I think it's time we take a look at the Minifigure Vault.
Minifig Vault.
Oh,
So
the
this
Minifig Vault,
this is the
okay.
door, so, you know, gotta open it up.
Alright, oh I love how you have the Legos.
Right? Alex did this, and it's amazing.
Oh my goodness.
So down
This is,
here is
oh, are these all
our
minifigures?
So these are minifigs that have been added on our website, and they just need to be sorted and put away. That is what Landon is doing back here. Landon is putting away figs that are getting sorted.
Bad droids.
Right?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
A few Ahsokas, you know. So we have a few items. Yeah, just
Oh, look at the army
so
building
it's
that can
all
be done
just
here.
sorted out.
Yeah, so this was a lot to process. If you thought they had a ton of minifigures up above, this section down below absolutely blew my mind. It was sort of similar to the insane warehouse that I saw when traveling and shopping for LEGO in Singapore, but that was all sealed sets, and this is all minifigures, and the quantities are comparable. And it wasn't just minifigures, they had a ton of animals as well. Look at all those octopuses, octopi, and fish and dinosaurs all in bins. Just a crazy amount of stuff here, and my mind was absolutely blown. For me, as somebody who loves to army build certain figures, and obviously is a big fan of Ninjago and original LEGO themes, it was crazy seeing them just have bins and bins of the same figures, horse bardings by the dozens, if not hundreds. And of course, Jonathan gravitated towards the Marvel minifigures, that's his thing, and it was just so crazy seeing the sheer quantity of minifigures they had on display in the vault here. This is probably the leading stock of LEGO minifigures in the world. I would hesitate to see if there's another store with this many minifigures just in bulk, waiting to be sold in inventory. There was a container full of Hulks, an actual container. Absolutely crazy, just the amount of stuff they had here. And for me, it was just a dream come true, getting a chance to tour the insane Minifigure Vault. But as we progressed through the underground area of the actual store itself, we passed by some actual newspapers from MCU movies, so that was super cool to see actual props from the movies, and I even got a chance to see how exactly they clean their LEGO. Everything they actually sell is cleaned, and the way they do it is they put them in those gigantic bags and literally throw them in a washing machine, which is pretty crazy. But before we knew it, it was time to get going and head back to the convention, and so, with our wallets empty but our hearts full of LEGO, we eventually departed the store in yet another legendary visit to Atlanta Brick Co. over in Atlanta. So if you're ever in the area, I highly recommend you check it out, and now it's time to get to the haul. Okay, so this is my massive haul from Atlanta Brick Co. And for once, I didn't actually get that many sets this time, and really tried to focus on completing a collection of minifigures of just filling gaps in my wall. Now, the really interesting thing here is that pretty much all of the figures that you see here are just random figures that I needed in my collection, stuff that I already didn't own, or maybe I owned at some point, but I sold them at some point in my life and regretted it, so I had to pick them up again. And really the goal of this is just to have a more complete minifigure collection, with just a few minor exceptions. Now in total, including the blimp, this cost me around $5,500. I was able to bundle together the Zack the Lego Maniac figure, which normally retails for around $2,000, with the blimp to be around $3,300. So I guess you could say minus Zack and minus the blimp, all of this is approximately $2,000-ish, $2,500-ish dollars, which I guess looking back is probably a little high. Like, maybe that's a little bit too much to have had to spend on minifigures, but I am very happy to have been able to complete my minifigure collection, and I'm really excited to showcase a lot of these right now because there's some really cool stuff here. I'm going to start off with the one that I'm personally most excited about, and that is this guy right here. So initially, I went to Atlanta Brick Co. all the way back kind of in March of last year, in between filming the LEGO Masters finale. So I saw this and I really wanted it, but then somebody offered me a cheaper price for this online. We almost went through with the deal and then I just didn't hear back. So I regretted it to that day. Like, I regretted not picking this up constantly ever since I left the store. And so I was overjoyed to actually see them still have it in stock over a year later when I went back just recently. And now Zack can be freed from his case. So what is the deal with this minifigure? Well, every single year, LEGO hosts a LEGO Brand Retail Managers Conference, which you can see on the packaging right here. For 2016, the minifigure was Zack the Lego Maniac. This is packaged in pretty much identical packaging to Comic-Con figures, except this is a lot less, I guess, exclusive for the actual card stock. This is kind of just a piece of paper rather than it being a cardboard piece that we normally get for the Comic-Con stuff. But the minifigure is one of the rarest minifigures out there because, first of all, this is only given to LEGO Brand Retail Managers, so you have to be a manager at the LEGO store to get it. I don't think you're technically supposed to sell it either, so there is that as well. And the really fascinating thing about this minifigure is that you have printing on the legs, on the front, and on the back That is, I believe, the only time that LEGO has actually done this, meaning that this has probably been printed by a third-party system. I'm not really sure exactly how LEGO had this figure produced, but essentially the way that it is that this is the Zack the Lego Maniac figure officially from LEGO. If you don't know who Zack was, he kind of was the LEGO Group's mascot all the way back in the 90s. He appeared in a ton of TV commercials, and so they had him produced as a very niche item for the brand retail conference. It's a really weird figure because if you feel the texture of the printing, it feels more like a custom figure than an actual legitimate printed LEGO figure. However, this is 100% official. LEGO just chose to outsource it to a third party for this particular conference, which is kind of unheard of for LEGO to do. So that's why this figure is kind of odd and kind of weird in a lot of ways. It's really interesting to have him out of the box. I cannot wait to use this figure in like videos and stuff like that because this is a really cool item, and yeah, for $2,000, it is one of the most expensive minifigures in my collection. Although honestly, thinking about it, maybe not. Like, there are a lot of Comic-Con figures that are worth a lot more than this one, but it certainly is up there. I would say it's in the top, like, 20 most expensive minifigures that I own, so it definitely is one of the rarer ones. I'm really happy to have been able to add it to my collection. And yeah, if you're curious, you can see this is official LEGO. You can see the LEGO print on the torso there, and it's a really cool looking figure. I'm really glad to actually have this in my collection now. Excited to have him on the wall. I'm going to put him back in the packaging for now just so I don't lose this piece of paper here, but eventually I will be displaying him outside the packaging because I strongly believe that every LEGO item should be taken out of the packaging and played with. Moving on from that, we'll get to the minifigs last because those are kind of just spot fillers, and we're going to go into the more interesting things here. I still need to put this one together, but I've been on the hunt for this for a long time, and this is the official LEGO Ninjago movie fidget spinner. Now what's really crazy about this is that this includes exclusive printed tiles of many of the LEGO Ninjago movie characters. So you can see Garmadon in there, there is Wu, there's some of the Ninja. It's so weird how they actually have exclusive prints for a one-off spinner polybag like this one. I do not even know the circumstances behind how this was sold, but it was only 10 bucks, which I was really happy about, so I definitely had to pick one up to add to my collection. Moving on from that, I was also able to get one of the LEGO Incredibles 2 polybags that I didn't own yet. This one is Edna Mode, which was a pre-order exclusive polybag for the Incredibles video game, which I always buy on PC because I'm a PC gamer, and if you buy stuff on PC online, you don't get the figures. So I never really got any of the exclusive game figures other than getting them secondhand, and so far this was literally the only one I was missing, so now I'm happy to complete my collection. Speaking of polybags, I got this weird LEGO Nexo Knights polybag. It's a keychain with the triple power thing they were doing for the Season 2 of Nexo Knights. This is just kind of an interesting thing to be able to add to my collection because it is a weird cardboard piece, and I'm excited to open it up and see what this is all about. Moving on from that, one other set that I got was this one right here. This was exclusive to Barnes & Noble's for all things. It's a pretty strange item to be a Barnes & Noble exclusive. It was only 25 bucks, and you basically could only get this last year by spending a certain amount of money on LEGO at Barnes & Noble's. Unfortunately, I didn't really need to get any LEGO at Barnes & Noble's, so I didn't get this promo when it was coming out last year, but now I have it, which is very nice. It's a super simple promo. There's kind of just very rudimentary building techniques being used here, but I think the packaging is really interesting. I don't keep packaging, but I might actually keep the packaging for this one because it is a really interesting Barnes & Noble's branded LEGO set, which is not something you see every day. You're probably wondering what a lot of these other items are in the back here, like random pieces, a bag full of 1x2s, and you will stay wondering because we're going to continue to talk about some other stuff first. This right here is a LEGO Ninjago movie headband. It's kind of an interesting thing. I feel like it'd be funny to wear this in a video. Like, I'm sure that in, I don't know, 2027, I'll do a 10 years later retrospective of the LEGO Ninjago movie. I guess viewers, if you're watching this in 2027, do let me know if I fulfilled my promise and am wearing this headband in the video, if I still know where it is, but I just thought this was a really funny thing to get, and I'm glad to add this one to my collection. Speaking of weird Ninjago movie promo items, I got this thing right here. Oh man, I don't know what this is. This is like, I think a tablecloth? A table cover nap. I feel like this would be fun to just use at a Lego-themed party. Like, I often throw Lego-themed parties for my friends, much to their chagrin. Unwillingly or willingly, my friends have had to participate in many Lego parties, even if they do not care about Lego. And I feel like this is kind of the funny thing that I would want to just, I don't know, have at my next birthday party or something like that. So I got it, it was only $3, and that's that. Moving on from here, we have this weird thing. Yes, this is Lego. This is a Lego cave that came as a bundled add-on pack for the Dragon Knights and Dragon Masters sub-theme of Lego Castle. It's really weird. It's in pretty good condition. There are some cracks, but for the most part, it's alright. This is something that came packaged together with a ton of sets, and you're supposed to put like the Lego dragon in here and make it the actual cave the dragon came from. Doesn't look like Lego at all, but this is the kind of weird stuff I really love to highlight on the channel as some of these strangest Lego molded base plates. I mean, can this even be counted as a molded base plate? I really don't know, but it's certainly very, very weird, and that's why I wanted to add it to my collection. For only $20, I thought this was a pretty good deal. One really cool thing that I got was this book right here, The Inner Workings of a Lego Mind, signed by Lego Masters Season 2 winner, Steven, who does work at the store itself. Steven was really awesome. We hung out at the convention a ton, and we were on panels together, and this is really cool because he's put together a book just showcasing all of his different mocks. He explained that since Flickr was kind of going away and not very many people post there anymore, he wanted to have a way to showcase his builds in a physical format, and as such, he created this book right here, which I think is really cool, and I'm a big fan of when Lego people do this. I might have to make a Duck Bricks book. Huh, that'd be interesting. Stay tuned. Moving onwards, I got this Lego Discovery Channel set. This was, I believe, one of the only Discovery Channel sets I was missing. I have most of the other ones, if not all of them, and I just wanted to pick this one up to add to my collection. I kind of randomly saw it and was like, yep, I need that set, so let me just go ahead and grab it. Nothing super significant to this otherwise. Moving on from that, I had to get one of these printed Lego Pirates Island base plates. It was $10, which I thought was alright for a printed base plate like this. It's pretty cool that Lego did this back in the day, and I just wanted to get it in case I want to do any more Pirates mocks. Moving on from that, I got a selection of chrome Lego pieces. Yes, these are official Lego pieces. One of them is a chrome silver Duplo brick, which I believe was an employee gift. I could be wrong on that, but I do know the chrome gold Duplo brick was an employee gift, which I got in Germany a couple of years ago. So I got the silver one to add to my collection as well. It's really, really cool how shiny this is. I also got a silver Lego brick, and the golden chrome Lego brick as well, somewhere around my collection, because I wanted to display like the golden brick from Lego Masters. This was kind of interesting because this is what these pieces look like with all the chrome rubbed off, so I wanted to pick up one of these because I didn't even know they were fully transparent inside, which is kind of cool, and I wanted to showcase that. And lastly, there's just another rarer chrome element here. This kind of goes alongside the Lego Lego Model Team engine type pieces, and it's just a weird little piece. This is official Lego, so I had to pick it up. Moving onwards from that, I believe all of the chrome pieces cost me like $40 in total, which I thought was okay value, especially for something this interesting and cool. Now we can move on to some of the other items that I got. Dropping things all over the place here, but moving on from that, you can see the T-Rex has already collapsed because this is from an era of Lego where the sets were pretty flimsy. They are a lot better at making sets nowadays, but back then it was kind of the Wild West. But I wanted to get this T-Rex because it kind of shows how far Lego has come in terms of making large-scale creature builds, and that is a Lego Creator T-Rex, which you could rebuild into a ton of different models. It also came with a Pteranodon or Pterodactyl, as well as another dinosaur here. So it was kind of just a dinosaur set. This was around $80, so for the whole thing, I was pretty happy with getting this large-scale T-Rex as a build to really showcase next to some of the Jurassic World ones to showcase how far Lego's come. Moving onwards from that, we just got one more Dots poly bag here for the black strap. I feel like that'll make a really cool ammo belt for Bionicle characters. that was just something interesting. I wanted to stock up on Masks of Creation. The golden skinned being, which I built months ago and reviewed months ago, needed these particular masks for the knees, so I actually had to steal them from some other Mask of Creation adjacent builds, like Akimu and stuff like that, and the Skull Basher combo model type of thing, so I wanted to get these just to be able to add them onto my collection. And speaking on to Bionicle stuff, I managed to finally get the Disc of Time. Yeah, I did not own this one yet, but I'm really happy to get it. I believe this was around 50 bucks, but wasn't cheap, but really happy to get it because I really actually needed this particular mask to add to my collection. Oh, actually, it might have charged like 70 or 100 for this. I don't remember, to be honest. It was a lot, but I really did want this one, so very happy to finally have the Disc of Time in my Bionicle collection. I also wanted to get this black piston add-on piece, which only comes in K2SO, and it's really useful for mocks, so I had to get another one for myself. Okay, we probably should address these weird pieces in the back, and I don't know if folks have seen LEGO Masters or are fans of the show, but if you don't know, we recently did win LEGO Masters, and we do not get to keep our builds. But you know who does get to keep our builds? Atlanta Brick Co. That's right, because Atlanta Brick Co. works closely with the people who run the show, they often do trade-ins where they just give them a ton of our partially disassembled builds, and Atlanta Brick Co. gives them sorted pieces in exchange. It's the way that a lot of bricks on the show are actually sourced, which is pretty crazy. But because of that, they actually got segments of my builds that we made on the show that Robert and I created that are still kind of put together. So this is part of our purse, although you probably wouldn't be able to guess because this is kind of the interior structure. This is literally the largest section of one of our builds that I've been able to get, which is really cool for me to get as a souvenir of my time on the show. This was literally made while we were on the show itself. Here's the strap to our purse. This was the original Clasp, which has since been greatly modified and changed around for my updated version of it, but this was the clasp that was used to connect the two pieces of the bag on the show itself. Moving on from this is a piece from our shark car. This is actually the rocket that we used to attach onto the shark car as flaming missiles, which was really cool to see that in the bin. And this is actually a piece of the shark car itself. It's very, very beat up, but a lot of pieces have come off of this, but this is actually a segment of the panels that we used on the shark car itself. One thing that's sort of LEGO Masters adjacent was that they were selling these sound pieces from the LEGO Alien Conquest Mothership piece. You can hear it right now. Oh man. Well, I said you can hear it right now. I probably should have tested this before buying it. Yeah, that doesn't work. Man, that's unfortunate. Anyway, the sound this is supposed to make is a UFO sound. Shoot, I should have totally tested it. I thought that if the battery thing was in there, it would be fine. But anyways, it looks like I can unscrew this and change the batteries, so hopefully it's just a battery thing. But this is supposed to make an alien UFO sound, which I intend to recreate our alien mothership at some point, so I wanted to be able to get this one to actually add some sound to it, because I think that'd be really cool. This random bag of 1x2 white plates here is actually something that was intended to be used on the show itself. This was actually something that was supposed to be used in the show. They didn't need them, so they sent them back to Atlanta Brick Co. So I just thought this was really cool because this is actually a piece of LEGO Masters history. This is what they used to stock the brick pit, so I had to get a bag of that just kind of for my own souvenirs and my own memories. Moving onwards, speaking of weird LEGO pieces, I wanted to get a ton of non-production elements. These pieces never existed in these colors, but somehow escaped from the LEGO factory. You have a ton of cool transparent stuff, like these bricks right here. These never actually exist in any sets in these particular pieces. But again, Atlanta Brick Co. has a lot of connections where they get weird stuff like this, so I'm really happy to have been able to add some strange LEGO items to my prototypes and misprints collection. This is probably the coolest one. For 20 bucks, I got this transparent yellow Emperor Palpatine hologram piece. That is so cool. I love that they actually did this in a different color, and I feel like this is just going to be useful for a ton of sci-fi mocks in general in case I ever want to add some holograms. Moving onwards from that, I think it is time to finally take a look at all the minifigures. We're going to do a speed round here because there's a lot of minifigures to get through, but first of all, this doesn't really count as a minifigure, but this was one of the European Lego Bionicle Nestle promo pieces. This is technically an official Bionicle piece. I didn't own any of them yet, and I'm happy to own one of them now. This is based on the prototype version of Toa Kongu, or maybe this was the prototype version of Zactan. I'm not even sure, but it's crazy how they literally made these based on the prototypes of the models. You can see that mask is resembling the prototype design for what would eventually become the Toa Inika and the Paracas, so this is just kind of a cool piece of LEGO history that was given out as a special promo. Finally, let's talk about minifigures. We're going to look at the rarest ones first. I paid $150 for the Zombie Bride minifigure. I sold mine years ago and really regret it because this is a really cool minifigure and I wanted to finally have it to complete my collection. So this is it from Monster Fighters with the first look at like what kind of looks like blood. Like the eyes are red and there's kind of smeared lipstick on the lips, so this is kind of the most grotesque that LEGO has ever done a zombie for. And yes, LEGO might say, oh, that's just lipstick, or like, oh, she has red eyes because she's a zombie, but come on, LEGO, you're not fooling anyone. That is blood right there, so that's pretty cool that we got that as a minifigure. Moving onwards, speaking of $150 to $200 minifigures, I spent around $200 on this one, Velma right here, which is one of the rarest LEGO Scooby-Doo minifigures, only came in the largest set. Love the printing on the side of the legs. The custom molded hairpiece is cool as well, and I wanted to get it to complete my Scooby-Doo minifigure collection. Speaking of which, I managed to get the other minifigures from the Haunted House set, including this kind of Dracula-like character here. You can see that his secret identity is on the back, and I do like the dual color cape as well. Plus, the evil knight kind of come to life. You can see that you've got one identity on one side, and then just the eyes on the other side, and if you remove the armor piece, this actually does have an exclusive printed actual torso with a tie on Knight's armor, which is certainly one of the most interesting pieces to get from the Scooby-Doo lineup. I really wish we would get more Scooby-Doo LEGO sets because these are really fun, really cool, and they only really lasted one wave. Moving on, of course, I had to get Fred from the Mystery Machine, so glad to add this one to my collection as well. I have all the sets, but I just didn't have the minifigures with them, so I'm glad to actually finally have the minifigures. This version of Plo Koon was like $40, but he has a different style of printing on the belt, so I had to get him. I do already own the standard Plo Koon minifigure, but this one is technically an official variant because the printing on the torso is slightly different. Moving onwards, we got a Life on Mars alien. This was the last one I was missing. It comes from the largest set, the Aerotube Hanger, but for whatever reason, the set that I got did not have him. I bought it used, so maybe they were missing this minifigure, so I'm glad to finally complete my collection of Life on Mars 2001 aliens. Speaking of themes from the 2001 era, this was one of the Alpha Team minifigures I was missing right here from Mission Deep Sea. I believe this one is Flex. Moving onwards from that, original LEGO themes, I got Bablu from the LEGO Adventures lineup. This one came in the Elephant set, and this is the only LEGO Adventures minifigure I was missing, so he's now part of the collection. Moving onwards from that, I think those are all the original LEGO themes, and I got a ton of licensed stuff. Speaking of which, I wanted to get a couple extras of the Doctor Who Cybermen and Dalek because I wanted to make a Doctor Who minifigure display alongside my LEGO Dimensions display, so I kind of wanted to get multiple versions of these characters to display in different parts of my collection. Moving onwards from that, honestly, this is just a ton of Star Wars minifigures, lots of like random variations of Luke, Han Solo, just like random stuff that I didn't own already. I find it kind of weird how I didn't already own these, but again, I was looking through my collection and I didn't have them. You've got like Anakin here from 2002, young Anakin from 2000, I want to say 7. I want to say 2007. Could be wrong on that, could be 2005, but one of the young Anakins, the sand color of Geonosian Battle Droid, which is a pretty cool color of the Battle Droids, the sand red color, which is not a color you see that often, so that's pretty cool to see there. We have one of the random droids from the Sandcrawler, 2006, 5, something like that. One of the AT-ST pilots here. One of the Imperial officers. Again, this is just to complete my collection. A lot of random versions of Han Solo, like a ton of Han Solos. I was literally going through Brickset, went down the list and was like, these are all of the versions of Han Solo I do not own, and I would like to own all of them to just have them to be complete on my wall and to finally have the complete Star Wars minifigure collection. Do I now own every Star Wars minifigure? No, but I think I'm missing like 3. I think I have most of them, so This helped a ton in being able to complete my collection. This one was like a magazine exclusive in Europe, so that's interesting. It's the same Obi-Wan we got from the Jedi Interceptor set, but this one has a hood on him, so technically you could have made this from existing parts, but I just wanted to get it just easily because they already had all the minifigures, or pretty much all the minifigures that I could possibly ever want or need. Oh, this one was expensive. This one was super, super pricey. I think this was around like 90 bucks or maybe even over 100, but it's the version of Anakin right as he's turned into the dark side from, I believe, Palpatine's arrest. So this one's a pretty good one to get. Some random droids that I needed. This one's from the Clone Wars. For whatever reason, I was missing it. I was also missing this one from, I think, the original Star Destroyer. Moving on from this one was 150 bucks for Aldar Beto, one of the strangest LEGO Star Wars figures ever, and that I'm very, very happy to add to my collection because look at how weird this guy is. Moving onwards, this one was pretty well priced, 60 bucks, which is about what it's going for on Bricklink, so really happy to have been able to get this one at a pretty good deal. Any other Star Wars stuff, and I think that's it. And then otherwise, we moved on to Harry Potter. Again, trying to complete my Harry Potter minifigure collection, so I just needed to get a ton of just random bits and pieces here and there. A lot of these are from the 2011 wave of Harry Potter, which I already do own the sets, but for whatever reason, I don't have the figures anymore. I don't know where the figures went. I might have sold them. I don't know what I did with them, but yeah, we've got the figures, so we've got lots and lots of random Harry Potter figures here and there to add to my wall of all of the Harry Potter minifigures. Do I now own all of them? No, but I'm very, very close. I again think I'm missing like 5, so we're very close to having all of them. And finally, we have 2 Minecraft figures that I didn't own yet, 2 different versions of Steve, with the leather armor costing me around $50 for this minifigure, which was pretty crazy, but apparently it is one of the rarer versions of him, which I guess is why I didn't own him yet. And finally, with that massive figure pile, we have summed up my $5,500 haul from Atlanta Brick Co. A lot of small stuff this time. This is not a very showy haul. It's not like a ton of boxes, but it is certainly one of the most interesting ones, with probably the single rarest and most expensive item being this bad boy right here. That's all for the Atlanta Brick Co. haul. I definitely will be back and hopefully doing a full-on video with them and maybe a full-on tour sometime in the future, so stay tuned for that, and thanks for watching.
Alright, and with that, we have summed up our journey to Atlanta Brick Co. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for even more LEGO news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming away very soon. And let me know if you have been to Atlanta Brick Co. What has your experience been? Thanks so much, and bye for now.